If the human being is dealing with health and evolution and change, it's best that you learn about the medical arts. It goes hand in hand. That's your lifeline. How to deal with meditation. Now, we all hear that the human body is so powerful it can heal itself. Any of y'all ever heard that? We all hear that. Yeah. But why isn't it taking place? People sick all over the place, the hospitals all over the place. So somebody either ain't got the memo or the knowledge been lost. But that's why when the breatharian knowledge is surfing itself, eating very little or not at all, that's all everybody's looking at. But we're coming back saying, but the foundation of it is the meditation. Without the meditation, you ain't got nothing coming, because meditation is the tool that opens up the energy channels in the body so it can get more nourishment.
And that means you don't need the water, because you're getting that. If you don't do the meditation, you could be dehydrated.
Absolutely.
But if you do meditation, you won't be dehydrated.
Absolutely. We will get in all of it. I'm glad you're going down that road. Yeah.
You won't get the what you said?
We're going down that road, so we're going over all of it. Because all you're doing is just talking about a liquid compared to a solid. That's all we're talking about. But the main foundation of the human being is energetic. We're energetic beings. And today, there's not a physicist on this planet that wouldn't say you're not a light being. That'd be foolish. You see frequencies and vibrations. You hear frequencies and vibrations. And that's where they get the radio from. A radio is a receiver. So our physical bodies receive energies, both visible and invisible.
So with that, if you're eating tons of fruit like that guy did and many others do, you still can be dehydrated if you're not meditating, perhaps. Because people say that they go on fast, water fast, and the guy that tests them, like Lauren Loughlin, tests these people that eat fast, and they say even if they're raw vegan for years and years and years, they're still very dehydrated.
Oh, absolutely. Now listen at this. That word diet, we brought that up and it got die on it. And I said, I used the word, it's called your window of consumption. What are you consuming in your window? Because everybody ain't got the same food they eat. Uh-oh. All around the planet. We ain't all eat the same food. Some people don't like the same foods. So what are we talking about? And we're in the age too where we got all of these diet changes. About what? 30 years ago, we ain't heard nothing about no fruitarian. We didn't. Veganism is new. Vegetarianism, especially here in the West. California made it popular. And it got beat up on when it first came out. They had to go through, the only way you could get your protein is from meat. And some people still got that memo. Yeah. Everybody ain't got the memo. But that meditation is the key, because it deals with, since our foundation is energetic, it is the tool that the human being could use to open up his energetic channels. Now, what does that mean, a channel? It's sort of like a river flowing, because energy flows just like water. It looks for the place of least resistance if it's coming down a hill. And we got cosmic energy constantly raining on us right now. It's so powerful, it's coming through the ceiling. That's why every time we meditate, both day and night, you feel it. It's always raining on you. So meditation is the key to strengthen those channels. It's sort of like if there's a stream that was coming through California and we wanted more water to go through it, we got to make it wider. More water will come down. It can feed more people and all this good stuff. And even if it get dirt in it, if it's powerful, it'll soon run itself back clean again. This is what's going through us. All energy runs a circuit. To turn on that light, the electrons, we put the certain things that conduct the energy to go through there to turn on the light. But it got to be something that can conduct the electrons with no blockages. And if the human being is made of carbon, see, this is a science. You are a good conductor of energy. We got to wrap our head around this. Uh-oh. So going back to that word, medical arts, meditation. I was in New York and it was foolish. These people just telling me all these meditations they've been through. And I held my breath and I did this. But the question I had to ask them, what was the purpose y'all doing that for? They didn't know. They just wanted to have a conversation on different meditations they've been through. They missed the memo again. Meditation should be the tool to make you healthy. If there's no blockages in the body, you are guaranteed health. That's why in the medical profession, they show you the caduceus, which is that pole, that staff, and they got the stake going up it. That represents the spinal cord. That's an ancient knowledge. And that serpent going up it represents the energy coming up it with no flow, no blockages. Energy love to move upwards. Just like if you make a fire, the heat is going to rise upwards. And we're 98 degrees inside. And it's starting from the hip muscle. That's what they call the kundalini or sexual energy. So we've been playing around with these words. But the heat always seeks to rise upwards. That's automatic. So being a breatharian, once you wrap your head around this and really understand what it's talking about, you should be able to pull it off if you wanted to. We don't expect all of humanity to want to. That's okay. But if you want to, you should be able to. Now listen at this. When Charles Darwin wrote that book, what was it called? The Evolution of Species, I believe, or something like that. Dealing with evolution. Back then, everybody was under the religious idea. And religion trained everybody to look from the start of creation coming from up to down. Something came down. Charles Darwin just looked at the world and said, wait a minute, everything is coming up. That's all he did was reverse it. So a religious or a spiritual person is still, every time they talk about the higher self, they start looking up. In my higher self, why do you do that? You've been trained to do that. The source, and you're looking like this. What are you talking about? But we've been trained to do that. And then the intellectual person, they just looking at the world and, you know, through their training, they just saying what the human body needs to eat something. It needs food because they're looking at things coming up. But both ideas go to hand in hand. They go together. We got to make it make sense. That's why there's a lot of people on the international level, their message is usually successful when they could take science and religion and put it together. Because they do go hand in hand. You're dealing with the energy of things that's raining on us, and you're dealing with the right components to put together that can receive the energy. That's why they tell you everything has an electromagnetic field around it, even our physical bodies. That's science again. Electric means electrical, and magnetism deals with the magnet, just like a magnetism. We all have it. And we got equipment now where it can be measured. And it changes constantly. Listen at that word change. It evolves constantly. Everything you think, everything you put in your body, and everything you wear. You could be in different situations where people, it'll change itself. And not only things change you, you can change other things by the energy you're giving off. Now listen at the radio. The radio is a receiver. Our favorite radio station probably going through us right now, but you can't hear it. But if we get that radio and turn it on and put it on the station, it will pick it up. But just because you can't hear it don't mean it's not affecting your physical body. That's why on the internet now, they talk about the 5G affecting us. Yeah. You don't see it, but somebody got to tell you it's about to happen. And everybody's scared. And then the television, now listen at that, telling you a vision. But that's another component we have. You also what? We're transceivers. You also constantly transmit energy. I'm talking to you right now. All I'm doing is sending you a code, and y'all learn how to translate it because you know the English language. Now, I was in this one country where this woman was cussing me out one time, but I didn't know her language, so it didn't bother me. She got madder when I didn't understand. I was like, oh man. Oh man. But that's what we're dealing with. We're transceivers of energy. But now, the human being through his arrogance, for some reason we separated ourselves from nature and from other animals. And that's just an arrogant thing to do. We separated ourselves. We're not animals, we're different. But when we look at the physical body, and what Darwin was saying, your physical body shows itself in nature. Look at our shoulder where the socket goes into the shoulder. The bat got the same thing. The dolphin, the whale, it ain't no different. Your whole body shows itself up in nature. There's not one thing on your body I can find where another animal got the same thing. So we are animals. So we can't be arrogant no more. You are a part of nature. There ain't nothing wrong with it. That's why this breatharianism is a science. Now some people will say, well, why can't other animals show me one that's not eating? Well, we could say some hibernate. But there's animals that have good gifts too that we can do. The bat works with sonar. You don't need to see. And I could go on and on with the different powers that animals have. But we have a power that other animals don't have, which is very powerful. And it's the power of adaptation. That's very powerful. Adaptation. You can adapt to many different situations. Absolutely. You get a lion from Africa and you bring him over here, 9 times out of 10, you got to bring his diet with him. But the human being can have a diet in one place, go to another place, and he don't need to eat the same food to be alive. He can eat something totally different and adapt to it and stay alive. That's a power that we have that other animals don't have. And you're so powerful you can make a plan and transform yourself. Now I see everybody in here got good legs. You could train yourself to run a marathon. There is. And you can look on the internet now, they'll show you how to do it step by step. I know because I looked it up before. If you never ran before, start out with 1 mile. Start out with 5 miles. You build up to it. So being a breatharian ain't no different. You got to build up and work at adapting yourself. So in the breatharian movement, the thing that made it bad in the past was everybody was looking for that quick gratification, like it's a belief system. And they got nothing to do with no belief. It don't. You're going to train just like if you was doing a marathon or just like if you was coming a bodybuilder. You just don't go in there lifting 300 pounds and you never lifted weights before. You build up to that. So it's the same with our adaptation or our evolution. That's where the human being's power is at. That's why all religions deal with some type, they're talking about it, a transformation coming from one being into another. So when I say you're going to become an earth animal, now why do I call a human being an earth animal? Because you're getting all your nutrition in your food from the earth, just like any other animal. But you can transform yourself into what? An air animal. You don't need to touch nothing from the earth. Uh-oh. This is powerful, ain't it? That's basically what they're talking about. They were just using words like Holy Spirit and stuff like that that seems spooky. But we was breaking down the word holy a couple weeks ago. It just means health, being whole. Energy channels open. They ain't blocked. A saint is just somebody who don't sin. It ain't got nothing to do with religion and God like that. Sin is just a transgression of universal laws. You have become one with nature, the energies of nature. And we can do it. That's just physics. That's why they got physics and then they got metaphysics. That ain't spooky. Meta just means the higher physical, the forces you couldn't see. Uh-oh. It's making sense now, huh? We're going to break it down to earth. We got to bring it back home. Now, the human being, of course, you're transforming yourself. You're coming from one level to another. But there's also forced transformations. Sometimes we don't like it, but you can be forced to make changes. I seen a guy one time, he went to Thailand. He was 19 years old, so I guess he tried to sneak some weed out of there. He got caught. And they're very hard for sneaking drugs out of Thailand. So they threw 10 years at him.
Oh my God.
So he was 19 when he went in. So he was 29 when he was coming out. But guess what? He transformed. When he was 19, he was this little fat little spoiled kid. Yeah. And when he was coming out, I didn't even know that was him. Because I guess the Thailand prisons, they fed you twice a day. And the food was like in a little plastic bag with mostly water with some little vegetables and rice. That was the meals. for 10 years. He was a whole nother person. Before, you could tell he was eating pizzas and probably living at McDonald's. 10 years later, he was a whole nother person. He looked younger.
I know. I was thinking I should go to jail all these years.
Don't say that. Oh, don't say that.
I would have aged a little bit better.
Make sure it's Thailand. No, let me quit. But that's a forced situation. So, of course, when I usually throw retreats about the third or fourth day, I usually tell people, just think if we was living in this situation every day for a month, 3 months, people will know they'll transform. It'll be a given. Yeah. Because it's forced, you'll be here. And especially if we just put a fence around it, you couldn't leave. But that's your power. You wouldn't die.
Let's do it for 3 months. Come on.
Right. You'll adapt to it. That's what we do.
If you don't want it here, you can come to my house and do it. Get some people 1, 2, 3 months. Yeah.
Oh, man. That's what we do. But the problem is the discipline, that's a deep word for us, temperance, backing up from food and stuff. And today, especially, you're in a great obstacle course where food is all around you and all these habits. That's all it's dealing with. So breaking from that, family, friends, all this other stuff we're dealing with, that's the challenge.
But it's really true. We do need a place like that for 3 months at least, right? Because 1 week and then you go back, you know, it's tough.
Oh, yeah. And so dealing with this adaptation and change, we're just looking at it on that level. For the human being to be, what, 600 pounds, 300 pounds, that's still evolution. He didn't start out like that, right?
It's the wrong word.
We could say de-evolution, huh?
Devolution.
But the body still did it. He trained himself to be like that.
But isn't it amazing the body could still, there's people 1,000 pounds.
Right, 1,000 pounds.
Living.
Still living.
Most of them are lying in bed, but some of them could walk still.
That's a power. No matter what you do with it, that's what we can do. That's what we can do. Whether we call it bad or good. Even to use your lungs as a chimney, smoking cigarettes, smoking weed, we're doing all that stuff. We can do it. And get away with it for a long time. Whoa, but that's your power. So now since you understand what your power is, man, I got the power to take part in my evolution. I can change myself. Yep. I can change myself. I can change the way I think. I can change the way I look. I can change everything from the floor up. That's powerful, ain't it? Yeah. Whoa. That's what we can do. I can make myself sick or I can make myself healthy. So that's why dealing with the medical arts, it's a very powerful thing when you learn how to heal yourself. That's power. And I'm going to tell you what's even more powerful. Even if you get sick, you know why you got sick. That is powerful instead of blaming excuses. You ate too much cake, drank too much. You know why you did it. Yeah. Right. I remember one of my buddies, I was on the East Coast, he was like, we was all watching a ball game the night before that, and they was sick the next day. And what was they doing? They was blaming it on the alcohol, but they wouldn't blame the pizza. Now, I was saying it was the pizza. It had to be the alcohol. Well, it was vodka. No, it wasn't that.
That's right.
It was the pizza. That's right. No, they didn't want to blame the pizza. And I just left it alone. I already knew who I was dealing with. But that's the power behind it again. We just in self-denial. That's all it is. But when you get out of self-denial, and some things is easier to change than others, you understand? Because we also have this memory in us and all this other stuff. We understand it. We pick up information from our parents and all this other stuff we're working on. But that's besides the point. Your power still is what it is. If you want to transform yourself, you can. That's something, ain't it? Mm-hmm. Man, I even changed my wardrobe one time. It made me into another person. I did. It's true, ain't it?
Yeah. Just clothes.
Just clothes. Oh, man. So we got it going on, don't we? All you got to do is know what your makeup is, what you're working with, what the foundation is, and you can make this transformation. Now, there's a thing called, now this one made me kind of popular in Europe because I came with this term called food alchemy. Food alchemy. Now, we knew about alchemy from ancient times, working with the electrical part of us, electric, al, and the chem, which is the chemical part of us. Now, the chemical part of us deals with the endocrine system. We're a bag of chemicals. That's taking place regardless. And then the electrical part of us, see, when we was in school, they skipped that memo. That's what they did. That's all that happened. So, but our foundation now, since we're living now, is coming out more and more that our neural system, just for me to move my foot, that was an electrical signal. No different than what's charging up your cell phone. This is a bio machine, biocomputer. So now when we deal with food alchemy, what is food? Uh-oh, we got to ask ourselves that question. Now, when you look at the definition of it, it's saying anything that can nourish the human being or an animal. And it's usually animals or eating other animals or plants. That's what it says. Because the average person, when they think of food, they either eat dead plants or animals. That's what they're eating. But then it says in that same thing dealing with food, now put the plants in a different category. But the plants could do a thing called photosynthesis and absorb energy and get its nutrition. All it did was separate the plants. Now, one level is putting animals and plants together. You can eat both of them. But then they put the plants way over here and they don't put you over there. And that's what a deception. But they'll come back and say you could get vitamin D from the sun, whatever that means. That means that your body absorbs something. Oh, it can absorb what it needs. But they just told you that one thing. We can absorb all types of stuff. I did a video today telling them, little cheater hacks. And what it is, say for instance, if your body still needed something physical to build tissue and stuff. Nobody's arguing that. But you wanted to go to the breatharian journey, you didn't want to go too fast. I told them the next way you can nourish yourself is through the skin. That's why a holistic practitioner say you should not put nothing on your skin that you wouldn't eat.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa!
I tell that to everybody, especially.
Oh my God.
So you could do full rituals with different oils now, whether it's coconut. Somebody said jojoba today. I just got that one out.
Makeup. There goes makeup.
Huh?
There goes makeup.
Yeah. A lot of people. Because you can poison yourself through your skin. People do it all the time.
Oh my God.
Soaps.
They have natural.
Shampoos. You got shampoos that got words on it. You don't even know what they mean. And people sitting up here doing this.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of shampoo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then they even had a thing dealing with
Natural, good ones.
getting perms. Where they was doing autopsies on women who got perms all of their life. And there was a green little, chemicals all on their skull. Just from getting perms all of their life.
Oh my God.
So that means they was walking around crazy and didn't even know it. Right. That's what we're doing to ourselves. But now since we're waking up, I can nourish myself through the skin. Because when we was in our mother's womb, we didn't get nourished through our mouth. We was hooked up another way. But everything she was eating, we was absorbing. So now when you get into the Breatharian sciences, you're going to take advantage of a power of absorption. And when I was in the Navy, I was in communications, out on the ship. And when a man was out on the ship, guess what? It don't matter if he was married or not. He never had no babies. Because he was near the antennas all the time. So it was killing his sperm.
Oh, I thought you were going to say there's no women there.
Oh, well, they did bring women on board, but I didn't stop nothing. But usually when they went to shore duty, so that shows you again how the energy, the invisible force, was affecting everybody's behavior. Now, when we look at modern day sciences, you got all the different branches. The chemistries, the biology, and blah, 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 blah. But all of them actually come from one science. And this science been dumbed down. The greatest science that the human being has is astrology. All the sciences fit under astrology. Astro means what? Cosmos. And what? Astrology just means the study of the cosmos. Because that put everything under the same umbrella. When the cosmos move, they affect chemicals in your body. Here we go now.
Wow.
The way the different planetary movements, it affects the energy that's affecting the body. The moon affects the body. So astrology is the greatest science. The number one. Uh-oh. So you're tracking the nebulas, the stars, all the way to the cells of the body. The atoms. They're all being affected with the microcosm and the macrocosm. It never left. This is why you hooked up not only with nature. We think of nature, we just think of the rivers and the trees. Also the cosmos. Uh-oh. This is something, ain't it?
Supernova.
Supernova. And now we're using this term when we're talking about aliens. And then we said we seen some UFOs not too long ago. And UFO just means unidentified flying object. But don't let that word alien scare you. Trump ain't scared of it. He's ready to build a wall up to keep the aliens out. And that just means somebody who's not born from here. That's all it means. But when we look at the
aliens.
But when we look at the word earth, there's an ancient word they used to use called terra. That's where they get the word terrain from. The terrestrial, we're terrestrial beings. So you're going to transform from a terrestrial being, here we go again, play on words, to an extraterrestrial. What does that mean? That means that you're going to open up some of your extra senses. You already have them. They just went dormant or semi-dormant. They had to, because you've been eating all of your life. So that's why when you stop eating and start going into this other phase, you're going to open up things that went dormant. And that's when you become an extraterrestrial.
Wait, say that again?
Whoa, that was a lot, wasn't it?
Yeah, I went out of my body.
I was wondering where you was going with the alien thing.
Oh, man.
I wasn't sure, but okay.
Right, it goes hand in hand. Whether you call it an ET, remember ET phone home?
Yeah.
An extraterrestrial. But you are the extraterrestrials. They talk about ancient times. Where was the extraterrestrials at? It was you. It was your ancestors. But if there was a fall of consciousness, you're not extraterrestrials no more. You're terrestrial, just like the rest of the animals. You could pick up a higher force. Somebody got offended with your stuff this week. She was just talking about losing weight and how it can shut down certain things in the body. And somebody ain't like that. But there's truth to it. If the radio is affected or clogged up, it ain't receiving, it can receive higher forces if it wasn't that clogged up. It could get other radio stations. That's all we're saying. Sorry she took it the wrong way, but that was the truth. Oh, man. Wow. Same with transmission. So that's why health goes with the Breatharian sciences. They always try to challenge me. They say, well, I know other Breatharians, and some of them are sick. No, you don't know no other Breatharians. First of all, you're lying. Like, you know the Breatharian communities, and I don't. So they try to challenge you, so I have to shut them down. And if they're sick, now there's two things that could be happening. There was a man who was vegan one time, and somebody tried to talk about him, about his health. But he said to him something that was real key. He said, you should have seen me before. You're judging me now, you should have seen where I come from. So this is working for me. That's number one. Ding. So whatever Breatharians they was talking about, you probably should have seen them before. And then number two is, if they were sick and continue to be sick, they can't be Breatharian. That's how you know. Because we're saying that certain channels should be open in the body where certain things shouldn't even exist. I haven't had a cold in 20 years.
Wow.
A cold is mucus in the body.
Wow.
It shouldn't happen. That's universal laws. Uh-oh. Did we say that? So when we look at preventable diseases, cancer, stroke, high blood pressure, liver ailments, all of that is caused by blockages and obstructions in the organism from eating. We got to go there. So that's a frequency of thought. The Breatharian science is going to take you from that frequency of thought. So you will not see that radio station. Is this making sense?
Yeah.
You won't even see it. Uh-oh. So somebody tried to ask me too, well, have you done any blood work? Of course I did. When I became a breatharian, I had a job where the medical was good, so we had to get mandatory checkups. And the doctor, the only thing he could say to me was, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. I'm walking out. Some people he had to say, we got to talk. We got to talk. They sweating. That's what happens. So what should be said? Because it's just a numbers game. After they get done, they're going to look at the numbers. They don't need to go into what your lifestyle is. If the numbers check, you can walk out the door. Other than that, we got to talk. But the power again is, don't be scared of it. You can change the numbers. You the one got the numbers that way. That's the power behind the human being. When you understand you can change and take part in this evolution. Because there was a time I was 190 pounds, high blood pressure, and that's what the numbers showed. Matter of fact, I didn't even have to do the numbers. I came in to get a checkup, and the doctor, he was in the same predicament, overweight. He just threw me some pills. That's where I was coming from. We already knew what was wrong. But once I started to get my power, I got to make some changes. And then it started coming off. Health started improving. More energy. Walking around. Clarity of thought. All that comes, that's another radio station. That means another influx of energy was now coming into the organism. This ain't far-fetched no more, is it? Whoa. Uh-oh. This is good, ain't it? So the Breatharian knowledge again. And Nidia. Eat very little or none at all. Now, of course, people will say, well, okay, we'll take the very little part now. All right. So right now I'm being challenged on YouTube. But tell us, over the last 2 weeks, what have you ate? That's all you gonna pick is 2 weeks? People doing that all over the place. That's easy. Yeah. All right. At least up to Annie, go get your pocketbook. I need some money anyway. Now, that's the easy part. But very little what we're talking about is once every 3 days, once a week. You can set schedules. You could develop yourself to make that plan. This is self-knowledge again. Now I'm going to tell you some of the rules that come along with it. Now, this just comes from experience. When you overeat, you're going to wake up hungry the next day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some of the rules.
The more you intake,
Never mind the next day.
The more you intake, the more you want.
The whole day. Not only the
Yeah.
next day, the whole day. Eat in the morning, you're hungry at lunch. You're hungry the next 2 hours. You're hungry all day long.
And when you don't eat,
You're not
hungry at all.
Right.
Yeah.
you don't resurface like
Right.
that. Resurface less, much
Yeah.
less.
That's why the best time to go on the journey is basically when you wake up and don't eat breakfast.
That's right.
Because as soon as you eat something in the morning, it's going to be messing with you all day.
All day.
Break fast.
Right. Breaking your
The
fast.
only thing is the detox. I don't think you ever say, when you don't eat and you're not in a great place straight, you don't feel good if you don't eat because you're used to eating. So you have to go through that period of time where you feel like pretty sick, some people.
And that's a good point she's making. That's just called a healing crisis. So remember when you're starting out, if you've been eating all of your life, and you come into this, you're going to go through a healing crisis. I don't care how good you look on the outside.
That's right.
That's just the outside. We're going up under the hood now.
That's the hard part. That's the hard part.
Right. So therefore, that's why you want to start out at a place, you understand, that you can handle. One guy was on social media talking about, I drive faster and I felt this way and that way. And I said, have you ever drive faster before? No. Well, why did you drive fast? You shouldn't have started out there. And then now you crying about it. It just makes sense. Start out on something you can handle till you build up to it.
And then you go once a week.
Right, because this is a medical procedure, a medical art. You don't want to hurt yourself. And then another person was talking about going on some long fast, but at the same time, they're talking about the stress in their job and they hope they can handle it. I had to talk wisdom to it. If you're in a stressful situation like that, why put yourself through that? You can hurt yourself. Just ease up on little things. That's all we're saying. See, now this is the power of the human being too. Now let's take that word evolution, which means change. You use the word adaptation, because that's what we do. We adapt to different things. So the body is so sensitive. You can just give up one thing and it'll change the way it looks. Mm-hmm. You can stop eating salt for 7 days, still keep the same diet and look different. Yeah. You can stop drinking soda pop. One little thing you let go, you'll change or look different. That's the power of the body. You ain't got to give up everything at once. You just pick it off. See that wisdom again? Yeah. Uh-oh. The skin had changed, the eyes had changed, all of this stuff. This is our powers again. We're just resurrecting our powers.
You know, I had black circle right here on my eye because I drank a lot of coffee with the bad creamer at the 7-Eleven for years. And I got off coffee in May, and the black underneath my skin went away.
Went away.
It went away.
See that? She ain't making it up. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Everything we deal with affects us. It's going to put a mark on us. So that's why I could talk to another person that's living on prayer and I could tell what level they're at. Because this is the book. It don't lie.
Yeah. Does the gray ever turn back to normal color?
I don't know yet. I'll let you know when that happens.
I want that to happen.
Me too.
For me.
It does work though.
Yeah, you know.
And people that are on juices or raw food say some people have had that happen.
It is work for me. It has worked for me too.
Really?
Has it?
Yeah. When you you cut it off and then you stay strict.
Yeah.
You know, it's just gonna grow what you put in it. So
it would be greater, huh? You're saying?
Possibly, but I don't know. Just specific things. Again, high quality. Typically, it grew out much less great. Like what's that stuff? The one that says wheatgrass.
Yeah.
And Whitmore.
Whitmore said that her whole head went back.
Yeah.
Black.
Yeah. Some people. Yeah.
That's awesome. But here we go with food alchemy. So that's why we say, at least learn how to eat before you even go into food freedom. There's knowledge in eating. That's ancient. He who eat less, live longer. But also let your food be your medicine. That's basically what you're saying.
And medicine be your food.
So we at least got to get back to the basics.
Meditation should be your medicine.
Medicine should be your meditation.
To learn your power so you can build your confidence of food alchemy. Now let's look at that word food again. So they said in that definition, anything where you can get your nutrition. Now listen at that word nutrition. Now this civilization is sitting on the top of other civilizations. Because this is ancient knowledge. It never left, it just went in little pockets. So as it resurrects itself, there's 2 language groups we have on the planet. And this is where it gets exciting when you study it. We got languages called Semitic languages, and we got languages called anti-Semitic languages. One's going against the other one. That's why this civilization is standing now, because it had to change things that the last one was doing. That's why this resurrected. But when you get deeper in the study, you're going to eventually go back to the Semitic languages. And don't get confused with the words they're saying. You got to look at the definition, because whoever has the power to define can control your destiny. They told you what something means. So a person of religion is, when you say heaven, they're looking up in the sky. But in ancient terminology, they'll use that word, and they just talk about a high state of consciousness.
Wow.
So the definitions is what we want. Just like hell. As soon as you say hell, they're looking up under the ground. Somebody just saying a frequency of a thought where you are experiencing pain and suffering. The definitions are what we want. And all religions come from the Semitic language family. We can't argue with that. So in order for this civilization to resurrect, it made changes or changed definitions to bring this about. So everybody is in the chemical revolution, hoping for the doctor to cure them, and the doctor ain't curing nobody.
What does Semitic mean?
Huh?
What does Semitic mean?
Well, Semitic is just talk about the language group. Now, to get into what it mean, I got to really get that.
Okay.
It'll come to me. But it's just talk about the two family language groups. It's just two different family language groups. So that's very important to really recognize that. But even this civilization, even though it's standing on the other one, dealing with the terminologies, they're still user-friendly when you can uncover them to see what they're talking about. Because this anti-Semitic languages wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for the Semitic languages, so they got to use it. So it's not hidden from you. That's why they got a thing called esoteric knowledge compared to exoteric. Exoteric is for the masses. And esoteric is just talking about things that seem hidden from the masses, but it's just usually for those who seek it out. Seek and you shall find. And it's there, it's not hidden. So you can heal yourself when you got the right information. And the reason why you want to heal yourself with the Breatharian knowledge is because when the organism heals itself, it gets stronger to bring more energy to it. That's what it does by its nature. Uh-oh. Now look at that word, and the reason why I want to say this, the nutrition part. And the root of that word is N-U-T. Nut. This is serious now. Nut. Now in Egypt, which is the longest running civilization is still intact. They had a god named Nut, or they call him Newt. And he was the one that gave birth to Ra.
Oh.
Gave birth to the sun.
Wow.
It was the power behind the sun. It's the nut. That's where we get the word sexual energy. You bust a nut. It's in the seed. You got this dormant seed. But if you put it in the right conditions, life comes out of it when it busts open. That's very powerful. And we all come from what? Semen. Or sperm or whatever. Out of our daddy's nutsack. Bang! That's what the power was. And when it got in the right conditions, that's what we're all here for. A lot of them didn't make it. Millions of them. They didn't make it. You got lucky. You hit the lottery. That's where the power's at. Oh, man. So that's what nutrition is talking about. They just threw a word out there. Ain't nobody know what, they don't know what nutrition is. I'm a nutritionist. What they talking about? I'm the nutritionist. I'm the breatharian. I'm the one talking about the power. I'm living off the nut. They talking about the invisible forces. That's what keeps the human being alive. What's got your heart pumping? I don't even know. It ain't got nothing to do with what you eat.
Wow. Wow.
If anything, when you put something in your body, it changes the heartbeat.
Oh,
That's right.
that's amazing.
That's why now the doctor is telling you at least don't eat for 12 to 24 hours before you do a checkup.
Yeah.
So we can get a more accurate reading.
Yeah.
It's the energy, the nut that's keeping you alive. Right. That's the nutrition. And when it's not blocked up, it's flowing. Gave birth to Ra. We get stuck on the sun. Ra. That's where the word radio come from. Radiation. Radiance.
Wow. Whoa, Elitom.
Radar. That's all we use it. But that's not the power. It's the power behind the sun.
Mm.
Right. That's something, ain't it? Wow. That's why when you hear these things, you're being sustained by the source. But what is the source? Those just words we playing with. That's why the scripture said, don't have no other God before me. That means don't even put an apple before you. I eat an apple a day. That's why I'm saying a lie. Apple ain't got nothing to do with it. It ain't got nothing to do with it. That's why they just showed you the testimony about the guy who was just not putting them down. He was eating the live foods and doing all this. That diet ain't had nothing to do with him being alive and being healthy. That was the illusion. No diet keeps you alive. The source keeps you alive. The nut. You're just coming back to the source. Nothing else get no praise. Whoa. This is heavy now, ain't it?
Yeah.
That's nutrition. So you're going to build yourself up to that since you understand this now. The unseen force. They even did a thing called Biosphere 1 and Biosphere 2. There was 2 science experiments they did in Texas, I believe. Now what that dealt with was they got supposedly the greatest minds on the planet, the greatest technology. We're going to build a space that's cut off from nature, that's cut off from the world, and see can we keep it alive. They actually did this. Kept people in there. That's mean they built rivers, billions of dollars. Both projects failed. And this is what the scientists said that was real key. This just showed us how much we don't know about nature. There's another force at play. It ain't had nothing to do just because you got all the information on how to put a seed in the ground. There's another force of consciousness that's taking place. So that's why we're talking about this is the exploration of consciousness. That's just another word we're playing around with. It don't matter what we use. So we're saying when you open up the body, it expands your consciousness. That's what we're saying. You strengthen the radio so it can receive bigger frequencies. When I was in the Navy and communications, they had certain radios that could go line of sight. And they had some that could have so much power it could receive stuff way across the world. It was a bigger radio. So you're upgrading yourself to bring in higher forces. That's why you want to clean yourself out. Clean the blood. Now there's a thing called, we was dealing with photosynthesis. Usually when we think of that, we think of the plant world. Photo means light, synthesis means combining or putting together. So now they got a term called, I even got a book written, human photosynthesis. Now, some people will laugh at that. Even somebody came at me one time, there ain't no such thing as human photosynthesis. They laugh. But now, in South America, I believe his name is Dr. Solis. He's leading a revolution dealing with human photosynthesis. You can look him up on the internet. Solis is S-O-L-I-S. He's not the only one. Human photosynthesis. And the 3 components that the human being got going for it is hemoglobin. Ding. It's similar to what? Chlorophyll in plants. The blood. Except the plant has magnesium in the middle. Human blood has the copper, which are both conductors of energy. This ain't far-fetched. And you can clean your blood. You can poison it or you can clean it. And how does that happen? Through food.
Sugar.
Salt.
Sugar, salt. We can go on and on.
Oil.
You can poison it.
Anything.
Uh-oh.
You're doing it every day.
Every day.
I mean, when you eat any food, your body produces the mucus.
Produces the
right?
mucus.
And then that's supposed to protect, but you don't need to produce mucus at all. So
Right.
No mucus.
You don't even need to produce it.
You don't have mucus, right?
Right. You don't need to produce it.
Yeah.
Only if you ate some
we
bugs.
have to produce it when we're eating, right?
Whatever goes in your body to make it go down a lot smoother.
Yeah.
You understand? So, hemoglobin is one. This is dealing with human photosynthesis. The second one is water. Now listen at that. You're made of mostly water, right? You've been hearing this. Or liquids.
Yeah, when we were born.
Even now, 70%.
Even now?
Even now, you got more fluids in you than physical flesh. Absolutely. It ain't stopped. Uh-oh. Here we go now. So that's another one. You got hemoglobin, water, And then the last but not least is melanin. Melanin is the chemical that gives us our skin color, and everybody has melanin. It ain't like nobody doesn't. We got 3 different types. We got neuromelanin. That's dealing with your brain inside, dealing with the organs. It's a harvester of energy, a harvester of light. Then you got pheomelanin and eumelanin. Pheomelanin is for the lighter skin colors, and a eumelanin is for the darker ones. But they still work the same. It harvests light. It depends where it's pulling it from. Did that make sense? Yeah. Somebody who's darkly melanated deal with more cosmic energy because the ancestors was near the equator. When you further from the equator, okay, you can't depend on that, right? So now your melanin is grabbing more from the earth energy.
Wow.
Uh-oh. Here we go now. So that means that nature or our evolution made these changes or these adaptations for health purposes. That's what it did it for. So it could stay alive. We adapt to things. So Darwin was right. So if you want to see evolution, it's dealing with our skin. It's right on you. Uh-oh. So now since we're in this age where we can move to different places faster, she came away from London. And look at this. Quick. It didn't take months and years. She was here the same day. So since we can move faster, see, evolution, as Darwin was writing it, he was talking over a long period of time for an organism to make changes, right? But since we can move faster, the Breatharian knowledge is showing you that due to where you live, your skin is going to deal with the demographics, your genetics, and it's going to determine how you're working with the energies in that place. It's up to you to figure out how your biology is working. Is this making sense?
Yeah.
So if you're a lighter complected at the equator, and it's a 90-degree day, you don't want to be up there sitting in it like this. It could cause some harm, right?
Yeah.
You got to be wise. And if you're darker complected up there in the wintertime, you don't want to be stuck in a house all day because you need UVB. You at least want to force yourself to get outside no matter what, even if you have to dress for it, because if you don't, it can cause health problems and mental problems. Uh-oh.
Wow.
Yeah, uh-oh.
We all got to deal with it. You got to learn yourself. That's why it's called self-knowledge. Oh, man. Are we saying this? Yeah, we are. It's a health message. So nature makes its changes due to health. That's all it cares about. So that the organism can stay alive. And if you don't make the changes or evolve, that's what we call extinction. You're out of here. And 99% of the animals or life forms that have been on this planet became extinct. So that's why you got one of the greatest powers. You see many animals become extinct. We was able to make changes.
Wow.
That's your power.
Plus, it's hard to die. Like I think you said.
Oh yeah, we'll be here in the future.
Yeah, I mean, we want to live.
We'll figure it out. They can take global warming all they want. You'll be here.
Tell me.
That's your power. That's probably why this knowledge is coming on the scene now, so you can make changes for those who want to. Oh man, this is good, ain't it? Right. And even living a meat alone, this revolution is going on. And they're just basically saying it's a denser food. And if the atmosphere is heating up with more electrons, it's going to affect you. And if you got heavier food like that in you, it's going to bother you a lot quicker. You're going to get sicker quicker.
Sicker quicker.
That's all that's going to happen. If you want to feel that miserable, fine. There ain't even no argument. Or even let people try to put that roof over your head. Well, I could do that. Okay, whatever. Oh man, that's all we're saying. You're just making changes and adapting on the changes that's going to take place in the future. Uh-oh. It's all making sense now, ain't it? Yeah. It's easy. One-on-one. This is a science. So therefore, let's go back to that power that we're dealing with. The nutrition again. So now since we make a sense, the human being is very good at absorbing energy. Whether it's on a chemical level or an energetic level, you're good at it. So there's no argument about photosynthesis no more. You can do it. And you're very good at building habits. Whether it's good or bad, that's adaptation again. So even when a person's smoking a cigarette every day, their body adapted to take it on.
Right.
Yeah, the first time you smoke, you're coughing like crazy.
Horrible.
And it's like,
Right.
Horrible.
And you adapt. We
But-
adapt.
But that's how tough the body is. It adapted to take it on. Anything you do is doing a good job to protect you. Death takes place where it just can't hang no more. Say, okay, enough's enough. Right. So all you doing is just what? Going the other way. That's what repent or go the other way mean in religion. You just saying, okay, I don't want to feel like this no more. I want to make changes so I can feel better. That's why this is a health message. I want to feel better. And there's a thing called earth salts. Now notice that your tears got salted and they taste salty. And most of the water on this planet is salt water. All right, here we go now. So that's why they say if there's any food you can eat that's the best, it's fruits, because a lot of them produce distilled water. That's why they're saying this. But your vegetation has a lot of salt in it. Uh-oh, here we go. So that's why when you eat something, usually less comes out because it coated your body. Not just the mucus, it coated your body. So an older person, when their skin starts sagging and stuff like this, it's because of the earth salt buildup.
Oh my God.
Earth salt buildup.
The salt
The earth salt buildup.
makes you sag?
Because your skin is an organ. Why wouldn't it?
I swear to God, like in 1 week since the retreat, I could feel my skin is like different, and then my jowls, like, you know what, old people when they
Right.
start doing this.
Now listen at this.
That's salt?
I don't know if you could see it already. Could you see
Yeah,
it?
you
on
do.
me?
You look younger. Yeah.
No, it's worse now because I've been eating.
But she said at the retreat last
Even
time.
just for the retreat, it was better. I don't know if you noticed anything, but I noticed myself that in the retreat or when
It was changing,
when I
wasn't
just
it?
go raw, even no eating, juicing, whatever. But when I started eating all this food already, like I could see the aging already. The aging,
Yep.
and this starts.
You even said the same thing.
I've
When
seen
you
that
went
all the
on fasting, you seen certain
Oh yeah,
wrinkles
the
leave.
wrinkles in my
The wrinkles go back.
But then the wrinkles are really deep here. when
This
I
is an
eat.
organ. It changes on everything we
Yeah,
do.
and then it goes away.
If I do 1 day of dry fast, this starts to flatten out.
Yeah.
Like the wrinkles go.
Yeah,
Here we
that's
go.
Salt.
yeah.
And salts in all the
food,
foods.
everything in all foods. Yeah.
It's putting stress on the body, so the organisms
This
going
is
to change.
motivating me tomorrow to dry fast.
Yeah. Me too.
Tape on the mouth, I can see it now.
You know, I want to say something. I went to my daughter's Christmas pageant today, and we went to the tea ceremony. And I was like, you know, it's my daughter. I'm gonna have. They give you a cookie with the thing. I ate the cookie, and I felt actually poisoned. Like 30 minutes after the cookie, like I had an upset stomach, and I was like, I've eaten cookie. I never remember getting sick off of eating a cookie, but I haven't had a cookie. I mean, I don't know. In like 6 months, I haven't had a cookie.
Right. And then all of a sudden you feel it even more.
I literally felt poisoned. I felt like I had food poisoning.
Yeah, my tongue changes too. I could feel my tongue right away, like when I started.
Everything changes.
I didn't eat the
But
second
even
cookie.
if you eat juices or liquids, it's not as bad as having, you know, cookies and whatever else.
I had one cookie. I felt sick.
Here we go. This all making sense now, ain't it? Because we got our different systems in the body. It's all one system. Oh yeah, she was telling me when she went back to London, the cookies was there,
I've been to
coming from Bali to there. You was under attack.
Before this, you've been eating.
Yeah. Now this is the power we talking about. If she got ill, now she know where it happened from.
You got ill from what?
It was from your own
Eating cookies.
eating cookies.
And
Hey,
you know
how
what's
many
interesting? It's like we have
Where did it go off?
Thanksgiving to Christmas. You're eating a bunch of cookies and sugar,
Oh, a pack a day.
and then
We ain't talking about Halloween. Let's start there.
Halloween, Christmas, and all of that. But then they give you the flu shot. So not only are you sick from the sugar,
Oh,
then they
man.
poison you.
Yeah, yeah.
Woo! woo, human being in trouble, ain't it?
Yeah. At that point, yeah.
And we ain't even talking about in January, they got the, if you're in the sports, they got the Super Bowl. They got the basketball playoffs.
Yeah.
I used to be a hit. That was my whole bad year.
My whole bad year.
Right. That was a bad time of the year for me.
Something else.
Till I woke up. I was like, man. But that's what's happening. We're
Wow.
constantly poisoning ourselves, so that's why this is some power again.
But the cleaner you get, the worse then you start eating, you know, then it's
It
hard.
affects you, definitely.
Your body
You
has
go
to
back
adapt again,
you
and then
definitely
again.
feel
Have to, right, and then you start waking up and knowing what it is. Most definitely
I've known
feel
this
it.
for 40 years. I still got stuff.
Mhm. So that's why we usually say, all right, is there an age for breatharianism? Well, it is. I know people argue whether it is.
What?
Because nature shows us processes. Everything's under a process. In other words, when you talk about the nut, it starts from a seed, sapling, tree, you understand? So it's the same with the human being. Now we know that a teenager, they can have a physically grown body, but the mind ain't fully developed. All right, here we go now. And now they're coming out with more information, even when they used to say 25 was it. It ain't 25. There's another development that's taking place. They're coming out with that now. So you're constantly transforming to bring on more energies. We're constantly going through this. But now we're not even talking about the desire of life experiences. When you were 20, you think differently than you were if you achieve 40. There's certain things you want to get off your chest compared to over here. Uh-oh. So you ain't telling a young person to don't do that, don't do this. Just guide it the right way because they want to have those life experiences. An older person say, I already got that off my chest. I don't want to do that now. I'm done with it. It's just making sense. So my son, he's a breatharian. He knows it, but he's 21. He ain't going to go every day not eating. There's some cookies he ain't taste yet. Right. But he got the knowledge. You understand? On when to let go when it's time. And if you go on a date, what you think they do when they date? Where we gonna go eat? We ain't gonna go somewhere just to talk and look at each other. That ain't the idea what the world got.
Gonna go to the mountain and suck air.
Right.
Cosmic,
This ear sounds all good. Right.
cosmic vibrations.
That's why a buddy one time, he met a girl and he said, I met a new girlfriend. Any ideas where I should take her? We asked him the key question. How much does she weigh? He got mad at us, but we ain't trying to help him.
What happened?
Right, because that would have been the key on where to take her out for the date.
Maybe take her for a hike.
Right. He asked us, all right?
That's the day you throw a curve at it.
Yeah.
You're going to the mountain.
Oh, man. Well, that's the truth of the matter. Oh, man.
What do you say?
Oh, you was mad at us too, boy. You're serious. When we saw her, I said, we told you. But anyway, that's what we're dealing with. The food revolution. And see, we as humanity,
Open book.
we was at the mercies of that's all we knew because we was in a domino effect. We didn't know about this other part that we could transform ourselves to the more subtle energies. We just didn't know that. But now, since the breatharian knowledge is on the scene, you're learning, because you're already attached to the subtle energies. It ain't like you ain't. How do I attach to the cosmos? You already are. It's an awakening or an awareness. So that's why going back to meditation, that is the tool to use to make you hook back up with the cosmos.
Did I just say that?
Yeah, did I just say that? That's why.
Every time
Yeah.
watching your videos, watching your videos. High five. Elitom-isms.
What?
Right.
Being here for a week.
Did I just say that?
And see, everybody meditates because guess what? What's up, Lori? Sleep is meditation. Sleep is meditation.
Damn. If I sleep, I wouldn't even need to do more than that.
Right. Why do we say it's meditation? Because you're in a relaxed position, comfortable. The brain waves slow themselves down. And the body start healing itself. You're in meditation. That shows you right there. Nature is trying to tell us that that is the what? Prerequisite for you to stay alive. And I know some of us.
You don't even need that anymore.
And I know some, and you can eradicate sleep. We're going to go into this. But before that happens, and I know I did it before, when you got this busy schedule and you got all this stuff done and you're running ragged. I got to do this, I got to do this. But one day comes along and the body said, not today. I'm going to set you down. Not today. All that stuff you had to do is at a halt because the body got to go meditate. The body's saying, we're going to go meditate. You call it sleep. But the body's saying, I got to go charge up. Just like this cell phone. It ain't got nothing to do with you eating. I'm going to go charge up so we can continue. So it sits you down. And sometimes it'll make you sick. See, this is the intelligence of the body. It'll make you sick so it could go charge itself up.
Wow.
That's why on the Breatharian journey, the first thing you want to do is what? Slow down your schedule. So you can heal. This is what it's dealing with. Oh, man. Because if you don't do it, nature going to do it for you.
That's what happens to me. I get so tired that I get sick. Like I start to feel sick because I'm too tired.
The stress again. Stress on the body. Too tired. Now to eradicate sleep, what is we saying on that? Now that actually comes along with the package of the Breatharian package. Now why would I say that? First, you're going to sleep less. Now why is that?
You're eating less.
You're eating less?
You don't have the energy.
Yep.
You don't use the energy for digesting food. So
Yep. Another one? Anybody else?
More energy.
Less blockages.
Less blockages?
Blockages.
All this good stuff. So over a period of time being on this path, you need less sleep because the body got healthier.
Wow.
That's health. Uh-oh. Less sleep because the body got healthier.
Wow.
That comes with the territory. And sometimes people will call me talking about, I can't sleep. What should I? I said, well, you asked for it.
Oh.
Just for coming on this path, that comes with the territory. Especially when you got something you really like to do. See, there's times you get bored, you know, so you just sit there, I ain't got nothing to do. But if you're doing a project, and when you're doing something you really like to do, sleep is out of the window. That's true, ain't it? You ain't think about sleeping or eating either. Not when you're doing something you really like to do.
Right.
Oh, man. Whole nother energy you under. I was building this community center one time. Now, if I was eating, it would have been over my head. But when I was a Breatharian, it was easy to put together. And people didn't even know I slept. They didn't even know I worked. Serious. Because I was always up. And I was sleeping sitting up, too.
I've seen you do that.
I've seen you do it.
Spinal cord up, energy coming in. Somebody could, as soon as they come to the house, I could feel them. Because that shows you that the channels is open in the body. You're already connected with everything. See, we hear about this stuff, you're all one. Everything is you. But it starts out as a philosophy. But when you get on this path, it will become real. Oh, man. Oh, man, this is good, ain't it? You start opening up. Just like a flower. So when they show you those things in yoga, the lotus opening up, you know, that's just a beautiful artwork. It's talking about you. You're going from a terrestrial being to an extraterrestrial. You're an alien.
Alien.
Yeah, now why would we say that? Because you're feeding off of alien energies. What is alien energies? Cosmic forces. Anything that's not on the earth, we consider cosmic. You're feeding off of cosmic energy. In a nutshell.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. That's what's happening. You went from eating off the earth like any other animal, and that's what sends you to the grave.
Wow.
We might as well go there.
You're taking this one.
That's why in all religions, they keep talking about, see, we got to take the myth out of it. They keep talking about physical immortality. They do. Death shall be swallowed up in victory. Death, where is your sting? They said even the human being has so much power, you don't have to go into the grave. It's making sense now, ain't it? But they ain't talking about it in the state they in now. No, they ain't talking about that. And last retreat, we did a teaching about Silicon Valley's not far from here, right? Yeah. They're working on physical immortality. They don't think it's crazy. The billionaires of the planet. Now, where did they get that idea from? They must have read the scriptures. They just don't want to obey the forces, that's all. They want to do a magic pill. But they're working on it. All over the planet. Big money. Oh, man. Working on physical immortality.
They're building a brain for it. Artificial intelligence.
Right. They're doing all types of stuff. There's a list of stuff they're doing. They doing one thing. Absolutely. To make it happen. So when we talking it, I ain't talking far-fetched. I'm a breatharian. I ain't planning on seeing the grave. It ain't even stupid no more. Right. Intestines ain't sagging. Right. The energy's coming up. Why should you go there? You don't even catch a cold? That's what put you there. So that's why I see very little or none at all. You're going on that path. And the more you stay on the path, the more and more start lightening up even more. Until it gets to the point. Now, how you know you getting more cosmic energy? Okay, these are the indications. You'll sleep less. You'll have more energy. You won't feel sick. Clarity of thought. And last but not least, the weight will get to a certain place. It will not go under that. It will go to a certain place. It won't go under that. So my weight usually go from 120 to 116. It stays in that time frame. Some places I saw it go to, 122. Stays right in that. Now, why do it change like that? Because everywhere I travel, the demographics is different. Atmosphere ain't all the same everywhere you go. Light got weight to it. Now check this out. Turn off that light for a minute. Now everybody feel. Now did you feel that shift? Yeah. Now turn it back on. Feel the weight of it. It got weight to it.
You're right. That's lighter.
It's affecting us.
That's denser.
Now it's something that's minor, but that's what's taking place.
Wow.
In the daytime, you weigh more than you do at night.
Wow.
Well, you do too.
Absolutely.
Well, people do because they eat too.
It don't matter if you don't eat. It's affecting everybody.
More than at night. Oh.
Because of the light. It has weight to it. It's a substance.
So does it mean we get more energy from the earth, or?
Well, when you die and your soul goes, you weigh less.
You weigh less. So, like she used the word soul. Now listen at that. Your soul goes. Everybody's playing with that word. But that soul sound like solar, don't it? Energy. When the energy out the body leaves, it gets lighter. So let's make it make sense now. That's what the soul is, just the energy that's animating the body. That's why they say it lives forever. We might as well make it make sense. So if you want to stay in the body, that means you can stay in it, don't it? You ain't got to leave. That just means you got evicted. Right, you got kicked out through a lifestyle. You ain't had to. You can stay in it. You can feel your feet again, the legs again, where any part of the body that's numb. That just shows you that's where the energy is more stagnant. And you can loosen it up again. That's why they got things like yoga. Or you could go to here, then pretty soon you could go a lot further. But you can loosen that up. So you can stay in the body. That's consciousness. Oh, she's real flexible. That's probably why you can't sleep. Right. When we do the Qigongs, all we're doing is standing there. And notice that it's so easy I don't say you got to visualize nothing. I don't say you got to do no breath work. The body's already doing it. Yeah. You're just coming aware of it. It's its constitution to stay healthy. As soon as you don't put something in the body, it's automatically start healing itself. That's why when you wake up in the morning, you got to use the bathroom. It already detoxified itself. You ain't had to take no herb. The body did it. It did it on its own. It's going back to its true form. We just have to become aware of it now.
When doing Qigong, I've heard you say that the more relaxed the body, the easier the energy flows.
Yeah. The more relaxed the body. So remember when I said, when you're sleeping at night, you're in your comfortable position, ain't you? Pillow, more relaxed the body. The easier the energy flows. That's what you're doing. So that's what we're doing in the Qigong. The more relaxed the body. So even when we're moving, that's what Tai Chi talking about. You're relaxing it more.
Meditation.
Right, moving meditation.
So you said energy flows to the place of least resistance.
Of least resistance.
Okay.
Absolutely. So the more if a place do have a lot of resistance and the more you keep working with it, putting that consciousness there, then pretty soon the energy will start flowing there more. Okay. And you see it as health. You see it as more vitality. This is all easy, ain't it? As we explain it. Nobody's arguing easier said than done. But if you take your time, you can have a lot of fun doing it. A lot of fun doing it. It ain't got to be hard. You ain't got to beat up on yourself. All you got, the body already know what direction to go. Now, let's go into the chakras. Here we call this our heart chakra or energy center. But now we got equipment that can see the energy that's coming off the body. It coming from the heart, that comes out the furthest. It can be measured. And it's beating, do. But not only is beating inside of us, it's actually putting an impulse that's coming from us. All right? So that means not only is putting out a receptive force that's coming out from us, it's also bringing in a force that's coming out from us. Because we're electromagnetic beings, remember? Now, this is why they say in spirituality, when a person is more cleaned out or purified, or when the energy channels are more open, you manifest stuff faster. You're bigger than your physical body.
I want to acknowledge that because I went to go see my family after 15 years and heal some family lineage stuff. As soon as I came back from that, even though they fed me vegan food, I felt too heavy. I did a 40-day liquid fast, and I connected with you in July. And then in November, you showed up in my reality.
Whoa.
After a 40-day fast, and he was on he was on the East Coast biking 700 miles. So it blew my mind that because I did that fast, every day I was thinking about him. Every day I was like watching his videos, and then soon we were talking. Soon we were planning. Soon he moved in.
Now look at what she just said.
Fasting.
Now look what she just said. She ain't the only one that said that. Now me, I'm running out of place. Okay, I'm traveling all over the place. Whoever calls me, I'm showing up, right? But how do I determine where I'm going to go? See, I just being obedient what spirit is taking me, right? She ain't the only one that said this. I went to different places and somebody said something similar and I end up showing up. Because we're all connected.
Wow.
And that's how I land. Constantly. So here on the West Coast, all I knew I was going to come through America. She was the one that just opened up and said, here you go. When I was in India, same thing. There was a dude, Manoj, you got to tell the story. We said, let us bring him here. So I started to fast and pray. And I'm sitting right there. He'd have brought me there. This is how I got here.
Wow.
That's what's happening.
Well, that's how Gandhi fasted and prayed and brought down the British Empire. He fasted.
Fasted. It's another force.
It's a power.
It's a power. That's why they use the term in the scriptures.
You water fasted for 40 days?
No, I liquid fasted for 40 days.
Liquids.
Liquid, and I filmed the whole thing.
But
Way before you came out here.
That's why they say some in the scriptures like the world is being ran by principalities. Now what does that mean? Now that word principality is a principle. Or that's the word they use for princes or princes. A prince or a princess. It just means it's a word that's used dealing with the foundation of things is the principles of our intent. That's what's running the world. The physical ain't doing it. The physical is late. It's running more dense. Whoa, is we talking now? So that's why I tell people, if you want to fulfill your dreams, don't worry about once you get some money or things. Just go do it. The things you need will come.
But you have to be clear, not lost.
That's the memo. Just do it. Right. You'd be surprised. You start having confidence in yourself.
Just do it.
Just do it. It'll show up. That's why there's a thing, and now they got many names for it. It's sort of like when a college student goes to college for the first time. And a person can actually do an interview on them, learn the music they like, learn what they like to do and stuff like this. Now, before they even get to the college campus, to thousands of students, they can kind of pinpoint what social group they're going to be in and what their lifestyle going to be like based off the interview they just did. Because that's the energy they're going to put off in themselves, and that's what they're going to be attracted to.
Right. Right. It's important. The people you hang out with is so important.
So vice versa, no matter where you go on the planet, that's why they say you can take the boy out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the boy. The energy that's going off of you, that's what you're going to create on the next place you go. If this make any sense. Like I was going to the Canary Islands one time, and there was one guy who liked to party. He was next to me on a plane. When we made it to the Canary Islands, we went to 2 different locations. But when we met again, he found his location. He didn't know nobody there, and I didn't really know nobody there. But we found a place that was going to compensate what we was looking for. The people came to us and everything else. That's how it works.
Damn, I really got to get divorced.
Freedom! But that's how it works. But now, not only it works like that, and if you want to, and this is basically what they're saying, and if you want to change your life, you need another application or another download of knowledge. That's what's going to change the frequency that's coming off of you. It don't go no other way. Oh, man. Happens constantly. Man. This is good, ain't it? They're telling us this, but, some people get it and some people don't. And me and you was talking about that in other ways. Or your buddy that was wanted to attract stuff, but he's not doing it because of the results that's taking place. That's all it is. It's a thought process. That's why that book, Think and Grow Rich, didn't you get that book?
Yes, I did.
And in there, it ain't telling you how to open up a bank account.
No.
All it's talking about is a mindset. And they got
and sexual energy, cultivating
a whole
sexual
chapter
energy.
dealing with cultivating sexual energy. That attracts wealth.
Yeah.
Period.
I made a lot of money the first time I read that book.
Right.
That's a good book, everybody. We'll put it down.
The first day I was at Venice Beach, I found a quarter on the ground.
Yeah. That's how it starts.
Why wasn't more? All right. That's all it's dealing with again. That's why they keep saying health is your wealth, and we just think it's a good word because it rhymes. They really mean that. Health is success. That's what Otima was saying.
Just now you did say something about the sexual transmutation chapter.
Yeah.
You said that manifests how did you put it?
Uh-oh.
Oh, sorry.
Sexual energy.
You said sexual energy
Makes more money. If you take sexual energy, you will make, if you cultivate your sexual energy, you will make more money. The first time I read that book and I was cultivating my sexual energy, I made a ton of money. And because you're focused on it too, so you're creating your reality.
Let's make it make sense. Remember what we were saying, energy love to rise upwards?
Yeah.
Now, right here in the hip area, that's where the sexual energy is at. In the body. You understand? To come through the spinal cord.
Sex, though.
Huh?
It does, it's your sexual energy.
Now, listen at this word sex. Now, in esoteric circles, that means something totally different than what the average person is using. All right? They're going off of codes and stuff. Now, for the average person, when you look up sex, it just means gender. What's the sex of the baby, boy or girl? But the physical sex is called what?
Intercourse?
Intercourse. Now, listen at that word. You're entering a course. You're going to get a workout. All types of stuff taking place. But in the esoteric circles, sex just means spinal energy exchange.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We're not
Spinal energy exchange.
Okay, that alone is worth $35. Just that one sentence.
Right. Or excretion. You can use exchange or excretion. Because it's spinal, because sex, the fluids, don't start down here. They start in the brain. They travel down the spinal cord to be made into something else.
Wow.
That's why this is, you got a colostrum in the brain, right? That's the middle of the brain called the colostrum. That's where they get the word Santa Claus from. He come from the North Pole, down the chimney, sending a gift. Well, due to your behavior, if you was naughty or nice,
I knew that was coming.
just the gift is coming, right? It's a gift. But when you cultivate it through a lifestyle, it's going to eventually come back upwards.
Okay.
And it's going to come back upwards 100 times more powerful than when it came down.
Wow.
That's what they get the original word of tithing.
Exactly.
That's the original.
That's the original
What does
word.
that mean?
You know when you're in a church and you're supposed to put the 10% of your
Right.
of your thingy? No, you're supposed to when it goes down the
The pineal and all that.
pineal and you're supposed to bring it back up. That's that 10% that you're supposed to bring up so that you can.
It's coming back.
And it multiplies times 10.
Hundreds what become the lotus petal.
And sexual fluid have fructose in it, protein, carbohydrates, but the fructose is sugar, right?
Right.
So you produce your own sugar.
Yeah.
Wow.
When it comes back up, that's the fruit. It's going to lubricate the brain and nourish it.
Isn't that what the milk and honey is?
Absolutely. The milk and honey in the brain. One is dealing with the pineal gland, the other one's dealing with the pituitary gland.
Wow.
I've got that book with me as well.
Oh,
Let's
see?
read that. We're going to read that.
I've got that book.
Now in India,
I forget. God Man Made Flesh.
God man made flesh.
I've got it.
now in India, they call it ohas. They use a word called ohas. And I believe I got that ohas
You got the
award.
Ohas award. I want to frame it and hang it up.
And that's just basically dealing with once a month, there's an energy that's coming back up to nourish the brain. It'll make the eyes clearer. It nourishes the skin, which is an organ. Here we go again. But it's based off of your behavior for the month. And keep in mind that your skin changes itself every month. Every month you got new skin. So that's why if there's any change you want to see on this journey, take 30 days out and do a before and after picture and see what happens.
Right.
That's all you need to do is do the 30 days. If you're unsatisfied, just leave it alone.
This is making sense. This is making sense. You know, as a kid, I was very athletic. I never had acne. Then when I became adult, I started to make more money. I started to eat poorly. And then I had adult onset acne. And I spent thousands of dollars doing Accutane. And they're like, could cause voices that, you know, are people that are not there. Could be suicidal. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa.
You could have a baby with 3 heads, you know? And I'm taking this, and they do like 6 rounds, then 12 rounds. And all it was eating crappy food.
That's all it was. Eating crappy food.
Crappy food. As soon as I stopped eating and I started going raw, I've never had adult acne since.
Here we go. And now keep in mind that the modern, and I hate to pick on them, but the modern medical establishment was created by the Rockefellers. Oh, you didn't know that?
Wait, say that again?
It was created by the Rockefellers.
The medical industry, the medical profession.
The medical profession we have today was created by the Rockefellers. He had enough money back then to start the institutions, and they had to convince the people who knew more about the all-natural stuff and build up the doctor and build up those bases and go on to the chemical levels. It was all about money.
Yeah, the 2 camps, allopathic and naturopathic.
Right.
Yeah, and then the money came into the allopathic.
Right.
And then they
The
put out
Rockefellers.
all sorts of disinformation out to squash the naturopath.
It's a.
And you did not get funded if you went against
That's
it.
right. Yeah, and that's when the first, penicillin, that's when the first came out.
Wow.
And he starts financing it, and they were, oh, we got something.
Wow.
Here we go. And when I was just in Cleveland, Ohio, you know, basically where I come from, The biggest job industry there is the medical field.
Oh,
Hands down.
In Ohio.
Yep. And many other places, everywhere. But I was there in the morning. Yep, and the lawyers.
wow.
So I was there in the morning, and everybody who was going to work was going to some type of medical thing or to some jail. That's what's happening. Bondage.
Yeah.
Bondage, slavery.
Straight up slavery. Whoa, this is heavy, ain't it? Oh, man. But sexual energy cultivation, go back to that. So that's why in yoga, one of the main places you want to, loosen up in the body is the hip area. You got your psoas muscle here. Now, even though the psoas muscle is physical, it's the gateway for energy to flow upwards to make it easier. Uh-oh. And remember what we said? The physical body is the gateway to the invisible forces.
Right.
So if a person got bad health, that's an indication on its receptive and transmission abilities. But somewhere along the line in spirituality and religion, they cut out the physical body and made it seem like it was ugly.
Yeah.
Why?
That's where the problem's at.
To put you in slavery.
To put you in body.
If you can't attach to your joystick, you can't avatar your game correctly.
So
they say
everybody...
you're not your body. You're just a spirit. You're not your body. So everybody's disconnected from their body.
So it was easy to sell the real estate up in the sky.
Yeah.
The invisible.
Put your tips in the jar.
Invisible real estate.
The real estate up in the sky. Ain't even see the house and you buying. And I told them in India, I said, I couldn't go for it no more because if I go to a place where there's many, a mansion like they say with all these rooms and the streets of gold, they're going to have me working in the kitchen. So I had to get out after a while when I put 2 + 2 together. Wait a minute. Oh, man. But this is where we're at. It was easy to sell that other piece once that other doctrine came in. But now the Breatharian knowledge, that's what got me into it. When I was sick, the suffering made me look for changes. And when I started to look for changes, that's when the indication said, don't leave your body, come back into it.
Come back into your body.
Oh, I got it now. You're coming back into your body. You're coming back into reality. The true reality. So that's why I was on some TV show one time when they was talking about, we know what was called spiritual reality. But since he don't eat, he probably saw all types of spiritual stuff. But this is what I said. I said back when I was sick, I saw a lot of spiritual things like what y'all looking for. The more I became back into my body, I don't add that stuff no more. I don't have nightmares. I don't see angels and ghosts. I seen them back when I was sick. Did that mean your mind playing tricks on you? Yep. We hate to hear that, don't we?
Or maybe that's your subconscious mind saying, get your house in order.
Get your house in order.
That's a warning. That's a warning.
Or let's bring it more down to earth. That's how you're interpreting the energies. Because that's what was put into you. The more you get purged out and clean, you get another perception on how you're looking at things.
What kind of dreams do you have?
None.
He doesn't dream because he stays up all night.
Do you dream? No, he sleeps sometimes.
No, he doesn't.
You don't go to rest.
Not even
You don't go to
daydreams.
rest?
You get daydreams.
Huh?
You get daydreams.
Well, it's just a thought. But this is what we're saying. The more you get cleaned out, the more you go back into reality. Now, I ain't at the point yet, because I ain't do it yet, to eradicate sleep altogether. I don't want to do that yet. Well, I do right now. I am ready. But that's what can happen. Why should you sleep?
Why do you say you are ready?
Huh?
Why do you say you are ready to eradicate sleep?
Oh, well, see, back when I first started the Breatharian journey, now this is the story. So, of course, I'm gung-ho for energy, right? So that's why I started sleeping up so my spine could be straight up. So I had this big project going and I'm doing everything and, you're on the move. But after the project was done, you're sitting there bored. What do I do with myself now? So that's why I had to figure out how to cut down the energy. But if you ain't got nothing to do with the energy and don't know how to handle it at the time, you ain't happy no more. So that's why a lot of people, too, who come on the journey, they're going into a cycle in the beginning where they're eating to put themselves back to sleep.
Right.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
That's what puts you to sleep.
No, that's even for me. Like when I get too hyper, like I've been up to 3 in the morning now. Like with him, I'm up 3 in the morning, and I'm like, I gotta sleep. If I eat something, I'll immediately go to sleep. It anesthetizes you. Just to
Sedate
get rid of it sedates you. Amnesia.
Man, this is
anesthesia.
something, ain't it?
Yeah.
Now, back then I wasn't ready because, but now I'm ready for it because you grow into the energy. You follow me? I got more life experiences, things I'm doing differently, so it's different now.
And you got a lot you want to do.
And there's a lot you want to do. I know how to crochet. I know how to... I know how to do all types of stuff.
Yeah.
I know how to sew. Who do you made that? I was up all night. Right? Play the guitar, read all types of books.
You paint.
Paint.
You paint.
All this stuff.
You make
Matter of
videos.
fact,
You're making movies now.
making videos, movies. Matter of fact, back when I was living in Ohio, my kitchen, I turned it into an arts and crafts room. That's what happened. I was doing all types of pottery. The whole house had my pictures that I painted on the wall. That's what it was. Even the table in the middle of the floor, I got a table out the trash so I could paint it and put my own designs on it. That's how bored you get.
Because you have so much energy.
You got so much energy, you got time on your hands.
You don't need that pill.
See, when a man owns his time, that's what freedom is.
Yeah.
Freedom is when your time is taken, or slavery. Uh-oh. This is heavy now, ain't it? Oh, man.
So you said at first you got bored because you didn't have anything to do with all the energy.
Didn't know what to do with it because you're young into it.
Right.
But now since you grew into it, you grow in levels and degrees. It's sort of like even coming on a breatharian journey. There is levels you'll go through from your baby stages, from your teenage stages to your more of adult stages. Everybody goes through it. There's nothing wrong with it. So that's why you can be a breatharian. That's why I said it's eat very little or none at all. You'll still go through those stages. Why is that? Because you're still figuring out what to do with your time. You're dealing with family, friends. How do you carry yourself? Are you going to be alone? You don't want to do that all of a sudden if you're used to being sociable. See, that's the problem. So you got to figure out on how to maintain yourself and what to do with these new energies, this newfound power. So you grow into it. So I do things totally different then. See, back when I first came to Breatharian, I had that community center, so I was going to meetings where, community people was and this and that. They had the dinners going. Even though I didn't eat, I was there. But over a period of time, I'm asking myself, why am I even here? I shouldn't even be here. So as that part fade off, then you don't care no more. So that's a growing experience. And from my first time when I became a breatharian, they had a Thanksgiving coming up. So I said, man, they don't even know. They knew I wasn't vegan. They was already beating up on me. So now here I am. I don't need to eat, and I'm about to go to the Thanksgiving party. And everybody overweight too, so I'm going to have a big one on my hands. So I don't want to get beat up on, so I said I'll at least get something light to eat. Maybe they'll leave me alone. So I got a little salad, a little soup. And my aunt, she was all big and fat. She looking at me, boy, what you eating? You need to eat something, get some on your ribs. I'm like, well, I don't eat that type of food. She just kept going and going. You listen to these people. So I got beat up on. That was the first Thanksgiving over 20-something years ago. But now nobody messing with me now. But look how long it took for them to accept, and then for me to accept and be comfortable in who I am. That's all it took.
And this Thanksgiving we didn't eat.
And this Thanksgiving we ain't even eat.
We adopted a turkey.
And this time I wasn't with family either. Now, of course, I had a relative when I was just in Ohio saying, so you mean to tell me when the last time you eat? And you mean to tell me you don't need to drink no water? I need to drink some water. And then he bring out a cigarette. See, I need to eat all beer. I said, well, of course you do. I said, look, right, I'm trying to be nice. Of course you do. Me and you ain't even in the same boat on what we talking about. Light years. It wasn't even no conversation. I've been on this for years. This is a whole nother habit. Matter of fact, when I got there to the house, I slept outside that night. I was up in the woods sleeping, all that clean air. They stuck in this house smelling like cigarette smoke. We on two different life paths. I'm sitting there, eyes all bright, just came out the woods. I was like a wild animal. They smell like cigarette smoke. You can't even see the chair. I had to drink water. Of course you did. I had to leave to keep the fight, so we won't fight no more. Talk to you later. All right, whatever. Went back to the woods. That's where I went. Oh, man. So, that, of course, that an organism ain't going to understand. Oh, man.
I like that.
That organism ain't even going to understand. I have been wasting my breath. That's all I was doing. They wouldn't even listen. Oh, man.
I'd love to know about, there was a story I heard when you were in an interview once on YouTube, and you shared about a lady that you met when you were in your younger years.
Right.
That you used to have a different lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
But she pointed out that she said, you know, you're really fit for what you're doing now, but you could be a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
What was that lady?
Now, this caught my attention. I was always into some type of working out, all right? But I'm sitting there. I did my workout that morning, all right? You know how we talk about, then you want to just let your hair down a little bit? Mm-hmm. So I go get my beer, and I'm sitting there just smoking a black and mild, you know, or a cigar, having fun. You know, I done worked out. I'm looking good. Now, she came at me in a good way. She said, yeah, you in good shape and stuff. And I'm like, you know, thank you, feeling all proud. But you can be a lot better. She came at me good. If those habits could go. And I thought about that. The way she presented it. There wasn't no put down. You look good. However, you could be a lot better if those habits weren't there. Now, I'm using that same message. Because I'm running into people who's on the breatharian path, but they still carrying a certain habit along. And they want to take that away with them, and they can't.
Right.
So I have to say to them, you're doing good, but your energy could be a lot higher if you left that alone. So I'm using what she just told me. I'm glad you brought that up. Because it's user-friendly when you could come at them like that. You know, they're smoking their weed still. Yeah, I'm on the breatharian path. And I got to say to them, it could be a little higher. You're just tweaking. That's all. You're doing good. But if you once you conquer that, you'll be all right. It'll bring another influx of energy in. So that's key.
I had to let go of that too.
Yeah, so
That was in November.
Yeah, that was mine.
November?
as well.
Yeah.
Right.
This November?
Yeah.
Smoking?
Herb.
Oh.
Herb, not cigarettes. No, I haven't smoked cigarettes since I was 30. But herb, I started smoking at 36. I had never done that. And I got higher than I'd normally got. But now I'm so high, when he came, I had to like look down at my herb and go, I'm actually higher than the plant. So I had to give that up because it would ground me. It would make me in the plant kingdom. When I'm like in the cosmos.
And then one key word you said is like your memory got better.
My memory got better. And I didn't feel like foggy in the morning, the next morning. Like, you know how you get foggy brain?
Right.
But definitely my memory.
So it ain't about putting stuff down. Like I tell people, that's just an experience you have. Don't put that over in this category like we kicking it the same. You can what? Make a tweak where you can leave that alone. That's health again. That's all we're talking about, health. It's a health message.
You can open the door. Leave the door open. Yeah, leave it open. Let us know if you get cold. There's a blanket.
So even when I was drinking that beer and smoking that cigar, when she told me that, now I didn't quit right away. I got to finish my cigar and finish my beer.
That's right. So you.
And then go get another one to think about what she told me.
Yeah.
I'm going to quit here maybe next month. Right. But when you're ready,
Yeah.
you're ready. That's what we're saying. On any level.
Every time I come here, I'm so ready. I think I'm ready. Then I go back home.
Now, this is good what she said. Your space that you're living in
Yes.
Yes.
will pick up the frequencies of memory. They got a thing where a lot of people either went through a drug rehab or an alcohol rehab, and what can activate them to go backwards again is something that used to remind them of that lifestyle at the drop of a hat.
That's kind of what happened to me when I went to Bali because I was doing good in Bali, came back to London.
Right.
Oh, I'm surrounded by my bad habits.
Yes.
Surrounded.
And there's an energy coming from.
We have to make a way to do it though, because unless you really want to, you know, if you go
But that's
back,
the thing, was we have to change our environment. She moved in and she told me the altar should be in the north, not the east. And I said, okay, let's do it now. Let's clean. It's like 11:30 at night. And Elitom's like, watch out, don't tell Athena. And I'm getting rocks, sticking them in the sink. We move the thing. We're vacuuming. We're up till 2 in the morning. We rearranged the whole furniture because I got a new technology and I took immediate action. I changed the environment. And also, too, I don't want people in here smoking or drinking. Out. Because I'm changing the environment. I don't want the frequency because we're constantly changing ourselves.
And then you finally lose your friends as well.
Well, you have to keep upgrading because I'm my own friend. I want to love myself. I don't want to breathe in secondhand smoke. I don't want to come out in the front yard and, you know what I'm saying?
Some things can activate you, especially on the beginning levels of the journey. That's why it's hard to see food freedom. When you're going through a place or you're walking down the street, you can feel the pull of energies of foods grabbing you.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Me is broken now. You understand? That's why it looks easy. We was over where you work at that. I was with Wake and them.
Oh, Air One.
And they went to that store, that supermarket.
Air One.
And weren't you with us?
I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't think so.
Creation.
No.
No, it's Air One. Air One, the grocery store.
We was in Air One. So I'm sitting there, but I'm looking at this, and I could see how the food was grabbing them, but it wasn't me because I was free. But it took years to get that way. There's actually a chain or a cord that's coming from you. So you are being activated or controlled by external forces.
Wow.
yeah. What if you live with that though? That's the harder.
It could be a cigarette.
It's always there.
If a person never smoked a cigarette, that cigarette won't pull them. But if they smoke, it's going to be talking to you. There's a cord set up with you. That's how it is. Until you break those cords, you're like a puppet. Man.
Wow.
So you're being ruled. So I know we like to say, so this goes two ways. That, oh man.
One's called an Aka string.
Aka strings, that's right.
Ah, right.
Aka string.
Yeah.
Because one says that the truth is in us and all truth is in you, and but the truth will ain't in you. External forces actually have the dominance over you.
External forces.
Have the dominance over the organism.
Epigenetics.
The external forces. That's why they say in the scriptures now, okay, I'm not getting religious, but Jesus never said the human being had a soul. Now, why did they say that? A soul has to be developed. It's there, but it's so thin. External forces is controlling the human being. That's why they're in bondage. The soul inside the body has to be developed or grow in order to break the external forces.
Wow.
Is we saying that right now?
Nine stages of Christ.
It's sort of
Breaks the cords.
Sure.
right.
9 initiations to break the cords.
It's sort of like a coup attempt where you want to take over the government because the government treating you bad. Now the government is the mind. I'm tired of the government ruling me. We want to overthrow the government. But before you can overthrow the government, the small faction of cells that want to do that new idea is not strong enough. They can't overthrow the government. It's too big. It's too powerful.
Yeah.
So they need external help. That's why every coup attempt on the planet, they got somebody externally helping them. Shipping in weapons. Right. America's good for it, ain't it? Right. So that's why it only makes sense to get some type of group, teacher, or some type of learning that you're into that's external from you so you can focus on. To help the small group of cells grow inside of you. You can't do it on your own. The group is too weak. That's why it fails over and over again. New Year's resolution.
Yeah, man.
That. But when you stay focused on something that's external, it's going to keep growing the thing that's in you. That's when you're growing your soul. You're growing another army of cells that's going to get stronger to take on the organism, to overthrow the old government. It's a growing process, so that's what they're talking about. The soul has to be developed. That's why they used to say animals don't have souls. They automatically die and go to the grave. So if a human being is dying and going to the grave, you don't have a soul. Whoa! You're doing just what other animals doing. Eating, sleeping, looking for shelter, having sex, and then you're going to the grave. That's what animals do. Whoa, that's what they're saying. Until you develop a soul, you'll be out of that cycle.
Because the reason why I'm looking at that, because in our village, back in the day in Nigeria, they used to say women don't have souls.
That's heavy, ain't it?
That's kind of heavy. Yeah.
Don't have souls. Whoa. So the soul has to be developed. Not just saying, let's make sense out of it. Soul means solar, right? The energy inside of you has to grow to become stronger. So that's why when we did that class last week, the mummy, how it's wrapped up in his bandages, the dead body, but it's wrapped in spirit. This is already dead. It's the spirit that's animating it.
Right.
That's it. That's the mummy. It's the spirit that's animating it. And the reason why it's preserved like that for thousands of years, because the organs and everything else don't what? Disintegrate. They're preserved. So you're preserving your whole body by letting spirit guide the body. But it has to be developed. You have to be wrapped in spirit. You have to be mummified.
Mummified.
So the spirit is animating the body.
The spirit is animating the body. That's why the pharaohs in Egypt were saying our light body is what nourishes the physical body. It don't go the other way around. The human being try to feed the physical body, try to keep it alive, like it's supposed to give them more energy. That's not what's happening.
Right, they're dying.
They're dying. It's killing you.
Human body is just what you see out there. It's just planting. It's just that. It's just that.
Just like a rock.
It's just that stuff.
That's all it is. Oh, man. That's heavy, ain't it?
Well, see, that makes sense too, because if most people don't cultivate through meditation their spiritual body, then the electricity turns off in one room or another, and then the disease is happening, and then they shut down the electricity. The bill hasn't been paid. The electricity gets shut off.
There it is.
Zombie.
That's it. In a nutshell, ain't it?
It's the biggest, how can you say it's the biggest trick or the biggest illusion.
Whoa!
The most tremendous illusion created on beings.
Yeah.
It's called beings because the soul is some sort of being.
The biggest illusion.
But if you charge the light body, then the light body will electrify the cells, and that's why, like moxibustion, when you go to like the Asian doctors, they'll burn a little thing and or acupuncture, they will hit the electricity or trigger points, and you'll get energy in that area, and then the tissue will come back to life. Because it's trying to have the electrical body turn back on to animate the physical flesh.
Thank you. Give her a round of applause. That's awesome, ain't it? She been paying attention. She knows. She ready to write a book now.
I'm ready to be a book now.
It's all energy. That's the basis of it. Charging up. That's why meditation's a foundation. And it don't cost no money. It's free.
And that's easier than not eating.
And it's easier than not eating.
It is.
If you could do it 10 minutes out of every hour,
you're in there.
You're in.
And then pretty soon life becomes a meditation. Life becomes a meditation. That's what they mean. First the yogi starts out doing yoga at some set time, then life becomes yoga. First the Tai Chi practitioner start doing his Tai Chi at a certain time, and then life becomes Tai Chi.
Everything's Qigong.
Everything's Qigong. Everything's Kung Fu.
Everything's Kung Fu.
That's what they're saying.
Come on, Walter.
That's what they're saying. Whoa. It was in everybody's face, but it was hidden in plain sight.
Right.
And they knew we'll figure it out one day. That's what we do. We're smart enough. We'll figure it out. And this is where we at now. We're at a great change that's taking place where many people all over the planet is picking up this knowledge. You ain't the only one, all these camps. I'm getting calls right now. Hey, it's not good. I'm dying over here sandwiching about, come get him. I'll be there in a minute.
That's why I flew to you. Because I want to kill myself in London. Get out of town.
The cookies are surrounding you, huh?
And too many like Christmases and like family Christmas.
Oh,
even
man.
just parties. Let's go pub. Let's go. I need to get out of town.
Oh, man.
You know, I love my friends dearly. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I love my family, but I can't at this juncture. I just can't be in that. I need to be in a different surrounding. I'm not surrounded by food. I love food. I love it.
Right. And see, now listen at this. I love food. Now,
That's what everybody says. Like, I love food.
I
That's not the
do.
question.
I do not love food. I do not. I want to end my affair.
Me
I want to
too.
break up.
now check this out.
Appreciate it as a tool.
Right.
That's it.
And do a breatharian is they saying they don't love food. Now this is what's happening. Sometimes when you exhaust the energy out of something, it don't mean nothing to you no more.
Right.
So when I ate, I made sure I ate swell. I was overweight before. What you think I did? I know how I did it. So you exhausted it so much, it's easier to lay it down.
You're right.
If you ain't exhausted yet, you ain't ready. Uh-oh.
You're getting close.
Right. But when you exhausted it and the love affair is over, it don't mean nothing to you no more.
Ooh.
I'm exhausted every night, but then in the morning I'm ready again.
Yeah, the more you do, the more it attracts
I
you.
know. That's the thing. There's
It's a season, right? It's a season you go through. It is. But when those...
Thanksgiving was enough, right?
And then that's where that meditation come into effect because, believe it or not, when you're meditating, getting that energy channeling through the body, even if you're still eating, it's transforming you and changing your thinking. So one day the food won't taste the same no more. Your mind is going to tell you it's going to taste one way, but you're saying it ain't taste like how I was imagining it to taste. And that's when you'll get tired of it. But you got to exhaust it first.
When was that time you talked about with the sushi? You had an infatuation with sushi.
Right. Now listen at this. Now this is why breatharianism get good. Now there's foods out there on the planet you probably never tasted before. So you ain't got to put yourself in an initial box. You understand? So that's what I tell my son. He's 21. You know, he's having a good time even though he knows the skill. But he knows to keep health at his foundation in life. That's the message you give to a young person. Now, for me, I never tasted sushi before. And here I am not eating, not drinking, walking down the street, and I see this big sushi sign. And I say, you know what? I've never tasted sushi before. You mean to tell me I'm going to live on planet Earth and never know what this tastes like? Nah. So I went in there and bought some. Whoa, this is good. This is sushi. Oh, man, I was there every day that week. Every day I was there getting new flavors for a whole week. Walking out with 2 or 3 trays of them. Enjoyed myself, but at the end of the week when it was over, I was crystal clear.
You were done.
I was done. That's when you see. That's the skill of being a breatharian. You can pick it up, but when the experience is over, you can lay it down. Instead of being.
You ate a lot. You're saying you ate like you over.
I had a good
We
time.
tasted everything.
Right. And it ain't about eating a lot or whatever, how you try to say it. You had a good time till you were satisfied. Are you satisfied?
Like emotion is like an energetic, emotional experience you're fulfilling, even though these are physical foods. Once that emotional, energetic experience is complete, then you don't have a.
It ain't the same.
You're
Also
not sweat,
too-
you're back to your source.
Yeah.
Energetically, they call it exhausting your karma. Like you have to go through that and burn it out. We said the energy burns it out.
Ooh, and listen to that. I'm glad you brought up that word karma. Now that's a scary word that scares a lot of people. Karma just means action. So we're always doing some type of action, so you're in some type of karma. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about burning up unwanted karma. All right, that's what we're talking about. And they say what burns karma, now this is a saying they're throwing at you. The breath of fire burns up karma.
The breath of fire.
As in Kundalini.
The breath of fire.
As in Kundalini.
Well, yeah.
Oh, the breath of fire.
But let's see what they say. Now, they just threw that word at you. Don't let words mess you up. But there's truth to it. The breath of fire burns up karma.
Oh, breath of fire.
So it goes straight to the source of a burn up fire. What they're saying is meditation.
Right.
Don't be stuck on the word. I gotta go learn the breath of fire. We're not saying that. Just meditate. That's what burns up karma. It could be visualization, chakra meditation, whatever you choose. That's what burns up the old habits. It's an energy that's opening up channels. See how words mess people up?
Yeah.
But there's many people practicing what? Breath of fire yoga, their karma ain't being burnt up. They don't know what they're doing.
Right.
They ain't got nothing to do with that.
Right.
It's knowing the purpose of what you're doing it for. When that energy, you're channeling it constantly, it's going to start burning up unwanted things that you're doing.
You should show that video tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Because keep in mind, the medical arts, MEDI, and meditation is the same thing. Meditation is medication, period.
Yeah, we used to do that breath of fire every day in yoga. The yoga, what's it called? The Bikram's yoga. They do it every day.
Every
right.
day.
Like nobody knows what they're doing it. But
Right, so they're just doing it. Probably still doing it 20 years
they're
later.
still doing it.
But if you think about it, if you're saying that, like in the video, that the cosmic energy is coming down and it's opening up the nadis, if the nadis are open, you have higher reception, you're getting more intelligence, you're more satisfied with less.
Right.
You don't. That doesn't satisfy you anymore. Like, I'm gonna just put this up. Sex to me isn't as satisfying as qigong.
Right.
Because I'm getting a body orgasm all over my body, and I don't owe anybody nothing, and I'm not tied to nobody, and I don't have to hear anybody complaining. I mean, like, it's just like, wow.
Look what she just said. Oh man, this is good. Now, sex is the most powerful energy, even over food. So when people first hear the sex part, well, I can't hear that one every time. Okay, the cookies.
I'll starve to death. I'd rather starve to death.
Right, I'd rather starve to death, all right? But when you're meditating and you start seeing the power of it, all right? That's a whole other journey.
Then we were talking about that the other day because we were talking about how the sex, we succumb to sex because we lost how to harness the sexual energy. That's what made us go into the food. Is that what we were saying the other day?
Oh, when you're blowing out or having an orgasm, it's automatically going to make you want to go to the food.
Right.
Because it's all energy again.
Because you're exhausted.
And once you use one chakra, once it goes a certain way, it affects all the rest of them.
Yeah.
But once one goes up, it affects the rest of them to go upwards. So that's why they keep showing you in the scriptures the serpent starting from below, coming up the spinal cord. All cultures are showing you that. That's the energy must come upwards. And even Jesus was saying about, I'm going to lift up the serpent. Well, if I be lifted up, I'll draw all men unto me. Just like how Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness.
He said, say it again. He said, if I be lifted up.
If I be lifted up, I'll draw all men unto me.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Just like how Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness. Because Moses went through a same where he had to lift the serpent up, and that's what put everybody in their place.
You become really magnetic when you hold your sexual energy. You can pull everybody to you.
That's what opens up the third eye or the pineal gland.
Such good news, isn't it?
Just gotta stop aborting.
Right. The spiritual abortion.
Energy abortion.
Oh, man. So over a period of time, once you start seeing that power and going in and out, that's a journey within itself, the sexual energy cultivation. You start putting 2 + 2 together. I felt better when I was like in this state compared to that.
100%.
The other one bring up
100%.
jealousy, envy, anger, all this other stuff.
Satisfaction.
Yeah. You can't, it's insatiable. You can't stop craving.
A hidden contract.
A hidden contract.
A hidden contract.
An agenda, manipulation.
So now I get away from stuff that people be like, Elitom, let's go window shopping. And I was with this one woman in Tel Aviv. Let's go window shopping in Tel Aviv. I don't want to. She looked at me like, what? Okay, I'm beautiful. The average man be wanting to go with me. I don't want to. I want to go to the beach. The contract was over. I don't want to. She left me
You're
too.
laughing. You're laughing. You must say,
Yes, she did. It was over. That's what it was all about. But the average person who's playing the game would end up doing something they really didn't want to do to follow the sexual energy. I don't want to go window shopping.
Contract over.
It was over.
Over. You're free.
And I ain't do nothing wrong till she left me that night. She said, he ain't going for the contract. So what's the use of me being here? And all I just wanted to do was stay in my energy. That's the power of it. You back in your energy. It stopped everything. Other than that, you would have been, if you would have been in that other cycle, spending unnecessary money you didn't want to spend, trying to please somebody you didn't want to please. And the thing I wanted to do was go to the beach. I would have never saw what I really wanted to see.
Okay, but we could still have sex.
Yeah,
Not really.
I want to have sex again.
But
Well, you can, but you would have been doing something. That's what I'm saying. You would have been doing something you didn't really want to do. You would have been at the desires of somebody
I had
else.
sex at the beach.
That's what they wanted to. Oh, she threw that at me too. She said, well, maybe we could sleep on the beach. And at first it was a good idea, but I didn't want to sleep on the beach.
she's trying to trap you.
Right. I had to think about it. Do I really want to sleep on the beach? No, I got other things to do. You go sleep on the beach. That's what we're talking, freedom.
Yeah. Well,
That's all we're talking.
She wasn't the one for you.
Well, whatever. Whatever that means. I'm the one for me.
Yeah,
So you just come back into yourself.
Controlling.
That's what we're saying. Now, you can play the other game, but that comes with the tyranny. That's all we're saying. You understand? Just like the food part. You can eat if you want to, but there's certain things to go along with it. You overeat, you're going to wake up hungry the next day.
Right. You have sex, you're going to wake up desireful the next day.
Desireful the next day.
Addicted, jacked up, jealous, angry.
Rest of the chakras shut
Hungry.
down. Don't even understand it. So you're going to be thinking a certain way.
Manipulated.
Don't even realize it.
Yeah.
That's why they say things like, have you ever heard, if you keep masturbating, you're going to go blind.
I've heard it.
You heard about that, right? Your third eye just got shut down. You can't see.
Ooh, talk about it. The energy
Don't
goes
even
down.
know it.
Feels like closing.
You went blind.
Woohoo!
Finally, it makes sense.
Finally.
It makes
I
sense.
understood that. What do you mean you're going to get blind?
You know what? You're going to have 1,000,000 14-year-olds following you right now.
Whoa. This is what they're talking about. And we watched that one thing, that's what they were talking about, the sexual energy in the Garden of Eden.
Yeah, that's a great one.
That's what they're talking about. You are now hooking up with the, they use the word divine, but it just shut down the higher forces that you can have access to.
Right.
The organism is at another frequency. That's all it's saying. Not saying it's bad or good, but that's just the price to pay.
What cravings is the price to pay for playing with that?
And
desire.
craving brings up pain and suffering in the long run.
That's right.
Attachment.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of prices to pay and attachment, I feel like ever since I came out here, like this whole year has been transformational for me. Ever since I came out here, friends that I used to have, even lifelong friends that I thought were my buddies, like my road dogs,
Right.
have started to just disappear and fall by the wayside as I've been learning these new things and immersing myself around, like-minded individuals.
Right.
And so I'm wondering, is that another price to pay? Because you said, I want to love me. The more that I've gotten in tune with myself and loving me and expressing myself, it's certain people that were with me have started to just fall off.
Well, this is what happens. In a nutshell. Like, I got friends I grew up with, and it is a precious thing to have friends I went to elementary school with. Those still my friends.
Okay.
That don't mean I got to hang out with them every day. They still spend the night at each other's house. You understand? Now, when I go back to Ohio, I'm going to go see them again.
Yeah.
But we're not going to hang out every day, so you still can keep those friendships, but you just went on another journey in life to develop yourself. That's where the wisdom come in at. Everybody's going to break off to go fulfill your other needs.
Okay.
Is that making sense? Just like family. I'll see them when I go back through there. That don't mean I got to live with them every day. You still can keep in touch.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? But you're on another journey of development. They're on their journeys, believe it or not. They probably talk about you now. You ought to try this new weed we got now. you missing out. but they ain't calling you up to say come do it. You understand? So that's one thing about my friends though. We don't try to change each other.
Okay.
We love each other just like we are. Glad you showed up. Boom, and you're out of there. That's just another understanding. Now there's some friends you meet throughout life too that don't serve you no more. So you ain't gonna see each other no more. You understand? I met one friend I ain't seen in a long time, and I remember they used to complain all the time, blah, 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 blah. And that was good for that season. You know, we was friends at the time, but as years went past and I ran into them, they had an idea like we was gonna hook up again, but once I heard that complaining, I said, nah.
It's a drain.
That ain't gonna happen.
No.
Yeah, that's a drain.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, some people you don't need to hook up with no more. So that'll just come with the territory also. And it's sort of like when I was in my early 20s, I had this girlfriend from Australia, right? So now we got the internet. Something popped in my head one day. Go contact them and see what's happening. But some said, nah, don't do that. Keep that memory back there. Because this has been a long time. They probably got 10 kids. Don't look the same. No, I'm just bringing that. Keep the memory there. Don't open up that door. Just leave it closed and just keep the memory. So that just comes with life. Absolutely. Oh man, this is good.
So we're at 9.
Oh yeah. So now we can do a good meditation. Any questions?
Yes. I mean, do we have?
Oh man.
Hey, what about